Bank has served customers from both Kansas and Missouri for over 100 years. In January 2017, the bank finalized a merger with 6 other banks. The merger resulted in an increase in assets from $792 million to $3.2 billion, making Security Bank one of the largest lenders in the Kansas City metro area. This increase created significant benefits for the bank, such as fewer compliance exams and the ability to implement stronger economies of scale. However, the merger also had its drawbacks. Security Bank's increase in assets launched the bank over the threshold for both fiduciary requirements and the Community Reinvestment Act.
My name is Greg Cox. I'm the Executive Vice President and Chief Operations Officer with Security Bank of Kansas City.
My name is Tom Davies. I'm Executive Vice President and Head of the Retail Division of the bank.
I'm Chris Lay, Senior Vice President, Controller for Security Bank of Kansas City.
My name is Teresa Harding. I'm the Senior Vice President and the Bank Secrecy Act Officer, and I oversee the Fraud Department.
My name is Kathleen Hicks. I'm Vice President with Security Bank of Kansas City, and I am the Compliance and CRA Officer for the bank.
The mission of Security Bank is to provide a professional atmosphere and environment for customers to do business and for our employees to succeed while enhancing our shareholder value.
Security Bank approaches compliance from a top-down perspective. We have a very strong commitment from upper management and a high expectation. We look at being proactive in our compliance program versus reactive, and we put resources to that to ensure that we meet our own expectations. Also, a weak compliance program can result in the bank maybe not being able to open new branches, close branches, in addition to any merger type activity.
It could have a positive impact for us, but in the short term, we don't see a lot of benefit from that. It would just depend on lending going down the road, but they are positive changes that I think needed to be made. Some of the classification of what was HVCRE was pretty stringent as to how they did that in terms of collateral.
It won't affect us at any level, really. It's very minimal. 95% of our mortgage loans are originated to be sold into the secondary market. In order to meet those qualifications, they are qualified mortgages. The small number that we will hold in our portfolio are also underwritten to the same standards out of the same division, and so they result in being a qualified mortgage also. It won't affect us. Small amount of loans that we do hold in portfolio, we see escrow as a service to those customers. It eases their burden in life, to escrow for their taxes and real estate insurance. Majority of our HMDA reportable loans are generated through that processing system. It provided us a benefit because it automated some of that reporting. For our HMDA reporting, the number of data fields that we're required to report reduced to 57 from a total of 109. And that was a significant cost saving with the compliance review time, the manual entry time, and just the data collection time for the HMDA LAR.
It probably would have minimal impact on us. Again, our risk-based our capital levels are relatively high. So it wouldn't really change what we do lending. Again, I don't think we've seen the changes completely on that. We're doing the first quarter right now, but these changes haven't, there have been a few things that have changed, but I don't think all the changes that are supposed to take effect are all in place yet. If they really went to a really short form, it could be a significant amount of hours for our department in terms of preparation of the call report. And I think that'd be a positive change.
Beneficial ownership, as far as due diligence, is time consuming. A new business customer, we have to do our due diligence to make sure who truly owns the business and the business is legit. We do our media search, we go online, we look at Twitter, Facebook, the different websites, legal websites. We do visit the place of business, we do our Google search. And we monitor the transactions, and if it's something that they, it doesn't look quite right, we do go to the place of business. As far as the burden, I think it's substantial, both financially and cost perspective. In our department, we have 7 employees who are dedicated to daily watching, monitoring under the BSA requirements. And as far as burden, as far as that would help, I think raising the currency transaction report, the limit from 10,000 to 20,000, I think would be a big help. Last year alone, Security Bank, we filed 4,199 CTRs.
A very burdensome regulation that applies to all banks that do consumer mortgage lending is the TRID rule, the TILA RESPA integrated disclosure rule. It governs the loan estimate you receive when you're purchasing a home and the closing disclosure that you receive when you're purchasing your home. It's a very complicated rule. Lenders always have questions and complications in going through the process, and you wonder what type of, how did it help the consumer in their understanding of their mortgage loan? It's not clear if this is really a benefit to the consumer. Additionally, as a result of the merger, we increased our asset size, so we moved from being an intermediate small bank to a large bank under the Community Reinvestment Act. That put us in a whole new realm of reporting, data collection, qualifications for our community development, priorities that we need to meet in our assessment area. I think what's burdensome is that we do a lot of analysis on our own in preparation for an exam, and we never know how that analysis is going to be viewed by the regulators until they're in-house.
What banks would like to see is real regulatory relief that allows us to compete in today's market. And although the small pieces that are being offered is a start, overall the regulatory relief needs to be much more substantial in order for it to really provide benefit for the banking industry. Because what has been put forth, we'll take any relief that we can get, but in the end, we need lots of it because this is strictly a drop in the bucket compared to the overall burden that banks face today.